This will be a doctor about Dr. Michael Chua, who is slightly nearsighted, say 2050. I wondered if he'd wear a plus lens to go from 2050 to 2020 the way I have done it. In any event, here are discussions of myths by two doctors.
Myth busting lightning round. So I wanted us to tackle some common myths that we both hear. I wanted to ask your opinion, what you would do. Likely, I'm probably going to agree. There might be one, I think, that we might disagree, but let's hit these rapid fires. So give me a yes or no and a brief explanation why you would say that. Okay.
Sure.
So, does reading in the dark damage your eyes?
Yeah, so I would say no, it doesn't damage your eyes, but when it's dark, your pupils are dilated. It can be hard to focus, so you might have some eye strain there.
Okay, I'm going to say this. I always used to say no.
Okay.
But I'm going to put a caveat because in kids now there was a study in North India that showed it increases nearsightedness.
Wow. Okay.
So I might say maybe if you're a kid, but not if you're an adult. So
fair enough.
Out there.
Yeah.
Can sitting too close to the TV harm your vision? Better sleep is simple.
We get the myth.
Adequate exposure to natural light, or maybe you just need a little more from your mattress. And
similarly, I would say no, but if you're in front of the television for many hours at a time, that prevents you from going outside, which is good for preventing myopia, like you mentioned. So I would say no asterisk in that. I'd prefer you if you're just the kids are playing outside, because that sunlight has been shown to prevent myopia.
Absolutely, and that's nice and easy for us to do in these states and places where there's a lot of sun and a lot of good outdoor time. But being parents, I mean, that's just where we want to get our kids off of those phones. But I do say a TV is better than them being on their phone. So if they need to cast it, that's always better. It's a distance target. Okay. This one we hear all the time, and I felt like was just everywhere during the pandemic. I still remember watching my kids do their Zoom sessions for school, and all of a sudden 20 kids are wearing blue light glasses where none were before, and then my kids wanted blue light blocking glasses. Is blue light dangerous for your eyes?
Yeah, so I would say no for this one. I did do a video, although I've received a lot of different comments about how some commenters or patients, they do really feel like wearing blue light blocking glasses helps with their eye strain, and if that works for you, by all means do it. I would say it doesn't damage the eyes, but having a lot of blue light can affect your circadian rhythms. So seeing a lot of blue light right before bedtime might not be great for your sleep hygiene.
I totally agree, and I think that especially there's for blue light too, that some people with migraines, and I think there's some evidence that blue light blocking might help with ocular migraines. So, and if people like it, it's not going to harm them. So just keep wearing them. We don't want people feeling like they have to rush out and go buy them.
Right. Exactly.
Will glasses make your eyes weaker over time?
Yeah. So no, the wearing glasses to help correct your vision will not make your eye vision weaker over time. What I will say is, with a caveat, you don't want to wear a prescription that's too strong, especially in your field. It's super important. We call it a cycloplegic, or making sure that the eye muscles are relaxed when you get your prescription, to make sure that your eye doctor is not prescribing you a prescription that's too strong.
Yes. Yeah. And it's crazy. So I'm a little bit older than you, so I've started to need reading glasses. And I know, obviously I know, wearing my readers does not make my vision worse when I take them off. But man, you really, despite that knowledge, you feel like it does. And again, but I would say there's a caveat now too, because there's this theory, unfortunately. Are you myopic at all?
I'm about a -1. So
okay. So like hardly anything at all. That'll be perfect when you're my age. I love it. But there's a theory now that actually traditional glasses make children's vision, if they're nearsighted, makes it worse because of hyperopic defocus. So again, like a little asterisk. Always, kids are different. But for adults, not. But it's so hard. You really feel like it. You put those readers on, then you take them off. Like, I swear I could read that without the freaking glasses like yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is another good one. Do carrots improve your eyesight?
Yeah, so I would say no, unless you're incredibly vitamin A deficient, that it's causing damage to your eyes. Yeah, exactly. So no, but they are a good source of vitamin.
Since I've gone from 2050 from -1 diopter to +0.5 diopter by direct measurements, objectively, personally, not using a retinoscope, just a Snellen, test lenses, and accepting that all eyes are dynamic from birth. They all do this. So Dr. Chua is a doctor, and a very good one. 4 years of college, 4 years of medical school, 2 years in the specialty of ophthalmology, and he's just not going to think about it. The whole idea of, let's say, I'm at 2040, and I expect that all eyes are dynamic from the primate data. He will never look at that. And he's not concerned, and I accept that. He has no concern if he's 2040 because the minus lens works immediately. And he knows all his patients will use the minus lens, which he will prescribe. Only Rupa Wong expresses a doubt about the minus lens when you're at 2040. And she's actively preventing with her own children, not with a plus lens, but by keeping their eyes 20 inches off the page and playing tennis. I suspect her refractive states of her kids will stay positive, as I would measure it, and they perhaps could measure it. But you will never convince an ophthalmologist who's at -1 to actually work on recovery from DMV level vision 2060 to 2040. If he did it and actually measured his own refractive state personally, he could probably get to 2020 or a positive refractive state. But this fact or truth about ophthalmology is they don't care. They really don't have an interest. Nothing in their life is affected by being at 2040 or passing the DMV. So they simply won't do it. And they don't want to believe that it's possible because they don't understand that eyes are dynamic control systems rather than bad cameras. I'm not insulting anyone here. I think he's so saturated with ophthalmology that he really doesn't have time to think about it. And he just doesn't have time to care anyway, because nothing in his life is affected if you go from 2040 to 2020, which is why I must do it myself. You don't have to believe me, but the second opinion is, much like Rupa says, students in India go down because of their close work. Add your own commentary, and I don't want to argue with a person who has no interest in his distant vision when he's at 2040 and could have gotten out of it. That's obviously highly personal. But don't try and convince an ophthalmologist that prevention is wise, possible, and necessary when you're at 2040. Add your own commentary. Thank you.